Warning, since I'm going to be discussing anime endings, there will be spoilers in here for Air Gear, Batum, and the 1997 Berserk series, so feel free to click out of this video if you haven't seen those shows yet. Hello and welcome to another video, and on this episode, I'm going to be talking about whether anime-only endings are as bad as people say, and with the way I worded the title, I'm sure that many of you have already figured out my stance on this. No, they're not. Look, I get the outrage. You want to see the original story in its entirety, and even if this new conclusion ends up being pretty good, it still might not be the conclusion that you wanted. The reason why I'm coming on here and defending these shows that deviate from the source material is that for me, what they provide is way better than the alternative. And what is that alternative? Well, since many series can't cover the original story in full, they resort to the dreaded read the manga / wait for season 2 ending. This is how we had Air Gear's last episode being about a lame ass long jumping contest, and how Batum's final scene was a speech where the main character declared, "I swear we'll get out of this hell someday." However, that day never came because there isn't a second season, so fuck you, read the manga. The biggest offender in my eyes is Berserk, and if I haven't lost you already, chances are I've lost you now, but please, humour me for a bit and answer one question. If the story finished with the anime, there was no continuation, that's all we got, it was just Kasuga gets raped, Guts yells, done. Would you still think it's good? I find that many people defend this anime because the manga exists, you can just read the rest of the plot there, so this ending is fine. But I strongly disagree. The show should be satisfying on its own, and if we didn't have access to the manga, I don't see how anybody could walk away from this satisfied. I certainly didn't when I rented the DVDs back in 2001. Not the best thing for a 14-year-old to be watching. Although, after all that, some of you might still answer yes, and that's cool, you're entitled to your opinion. But for me, the answer is a hell fucking no. Sticking to the manga when you aren't able to cover all of it doesn't always yield good results. In fact, I would argue that it often yields horrible results. In order to try and mitigate this, anime writers often choose a big event in the story to end on so that at least some of the conflicts can be resolved, and while this does help somewhat, it doesn't always work. Batum ends on a big event with one of the main characters dying, but without a second season, it still feels unfinished. While I'm sure the creators were hoping that sales would be high and they'd be able to continue it, but with the way things played out, I think they would have just been better off writing a new ending for it. Now, to be fair, this doesn't mean that anime-only endings are always fantastic. I've heard that Claymore didn't live up to expectations, Soul Eater pissed a lot of people off, like a hell of a lot of people off, and Oreimo... You know what? Don't watch Oreimo. Save yourself the heartache. But again, if I had the choice between an anime that's basically forcing me to read the manga and one that's at least trying to finish strong, I'm going to choose the latter every time. I think that the best approach is what the writers of Bamboo Blade did. They followed the source material up to a point, but then they gave us 2 additional episodes which helped tie up most of the loose plot threads. It may not have been as fulfilling as the manga, but it was so much more fulfilling than a lot of shows where the plot just stops because they ran out of episodes. In an age where anime studios are extremely wary and less likely to take risks, I'm afraid that we're going to get more of this wait for season 2 that's never coming bullshit. Especially with how passionately some fans have spoken out against deviating from the source material. My whole point for making this was not to say that anime-only endings are the way to go and they should replace the originals. No. If the writers can find a way to fit the original ending in there, even if it means cutting a bunch of stuff, then that's what they should do. But if they can't, and a lot of the times they can't, I think that anime-only endings are a decent option. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you have any feedback, please leave a comment. And if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.